For every swing, every moment, the Milwaukee Brewers fight. It's not just about hitting the ball, it's about leaving a legacy.
You will not believe what I just heard. A ghost from the Brewers' recent past might be coming home, and the front office is giving it serious thought. It's a high-risk gamble with a giant reward. Want to know who it is? Hit subscribe right now, because in moments I'm breaking it all down, and you need to be here to understand the impact. What's up, Brew Crew? Welcome back to your #1 news channel for all things Milwaukee Brewers. This is the place where you find the hottest scoops and the most in-depth analysis of our favorite team. Before we dive into today's topic, which is nothing short of explosive, I need you to do one thing for me and for our entire community. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the bell. I get information all the time, and you won't want to miss any exclusive updates. Trust me, what I have to share today is going to spark a lot of debate. Let's get straight to it. I've been hearing a lot of chatter behind the scenes, and a very reputable source has raised a possibility that seems at first glance absolutely insane, but the more I analyze it, the more it starts to make a certain kind of strategic sense. We're talking about a potential return of Devin Williams to Milwaukee. Yes, you heard that right. The same Devin Williams we traded to the New York Yankees last December in a move that has so far proven to be a masterstroke by our general manager, Matt Arnold. For anyone paying attention, Williams' 2025 season has been a complete disaster, a painful spectacle to watch. With a 5.60 ERA in 49 appearances, he's already given up more earned runs this year than in any of his last 3 seasons wearing a Brewers uniform. It's a staggering fall from grace for a pitcher who was twice named the National League Reliever of the Year. The trade itself was an undeniable win for us. We brought in Nestor Cortes, who, despite only playing 2 games, was part of a package that relieved us of what would have become a hefty contract and allowed us to watch Williams collapse from a distance. He's in his walk year before hitting free agency, and what looked like a path to a massive multi-million-dollar contract has now turned into a nightmare. He's heading to the market with his value at an all-time low, and that's where the story gets interesting. Robert Murray of Fansided, a voice I respect in the industry, published an article speculating on teams that could embarrass the Yankees by signing Williams for cheap and helping him return to his all-star form. And of course, the Milwaukee Brewers name came up. Murray framed the question this way: wouldn't it be something if the Brewers traded Williams, then re-signed him as a free agent? He admits himself that it would be an extremely long shot and probably won't happen. But the logic behind the speculation is solid from the player's perspective. Where else would Devin Williams have a better chance to resurrect his career than in Milwaukee? He knows the organization, the culture, the city. He trusts our pitching coach, Chris Hook, the man who helped him forge the airbender, that devastating changeup that made him one of the most feared closers in the league. For Williams, returning to the environment where he reached the pinnacle of his career would be the smartest decision to try and salvage his future. It would be a safe harbor in the middle of the storm he's facing in the Bronx. The pressure in New York is different, the expectations are different, and clearly something isn't working for him there. Coming back home to American Family Field could be the exact tonic he needs to find himself again. The question, however, and the one that really matters to us, the Brew Crew, isn't whether this is good for Devin Williams. The real question is, would this be good for the Milwaukee Brewers? Looking at the situation from the Brewers' point of view, the idea of bringing Devin Williams back seems counterintuitive, almost like admitting a mistake that was, in fact, a massive success. We traded him at the perfect time, sold high, and avoided the meltdown the Yankees are now experiencing. Why risk undoing such a shrewd decision? The answer, like everything in baseball, lies in the details, and most importantly, the price. Let's be clear. We're not talking about offering him the contract he would have commanded last winter. We're talking about a unique market opportunity. If Devin Williams hits free agency with an ERA north of 5 neo-zero, his market will be suppressed. He won't be getting long-term high-value offers. What he'll likely find are 1-year prove-it deals with a low base salary loaded with performance incentives. And it's in precisely that scenario where the genius of Matt Arnold could shine once again. We need to remember just how dominant Williams was for us. A 1.83 ERA and a batting average against of just 157 in our uniform. He was automatic when he came into the game and then the game was over. That kind of security in the bullpen is priceless, especially for a team like ours that consistently competes for the playoffs. Now, imagine the possibility of getting that weapon back. Not for an exorbitant price, but for a fraction of the cost. If our staff, led by Chris Hook, believes they can identify and fix whatever is wrong with Williams' mechanics or approach, then a one-year deal for say $4 or $5 million becomes one of the lowest risk, highest reward bets possible on the market. If he returns to being 80% of what he was, he'd be one of the best relievers in the league again. If he rediscovers his all-star form, we would have stolen an elite closer for pennies on the dollar. The risk obviously exists. He might just be cooked. Injuries or a loss of confidence may have taken a permanent toll. He could take up a roster spot that might otherwise go to a promising young arm from our minor league system. However, the Milwaukee Brewers under Arnold have become an organization that thrives on calculated risk analysis. They are not afraid to make unconventional moves if the data analytics and scouting point to a competitive advantage. Bringing Williams back would be the ultimate test of that philosophy. It would be a show of confidence in their own pitching development and reclamation system. It would be a message to the entire league that the Brewers not only know when to sell an asset, but also when to buy it back at a depreciated value to extract maximum return. My final take, based on what I'm hearing and how this front office operates, is that they won't dismiss this possibility out of hand. If the price is extremely team-friendly and Williams is willing to bet on himself with an incentive-laden prove-it deal, I believe the front office will give it serious consideration. They won't let the pride of a successful trade get in the way of a potentially brilliant baseball move. Now I want to hear from you, the Brew Crew. What do you think of this situation? Is bringing Devin Williams back on a one-year deal madness or a potential masterstroke? Would you welcome him back to American Family Field with open arms, or would you rather turn that page for good? Let me know your unfiltered opinions in the comments below. I want to see a fiery debate. And don't forget, for the fastest information and the deepest analysis on every move our Brewers make sure you are subscribed with notifications turned on. Things are heating up and you don't want to be left out.